Sup guys, it is your boy vKilljoyy here, and today I'm just going to be doing post-game commentary. I didn't really have time today to do a gameplay. I haven't got any Dead Island Let's Plays, like, I don't know, stored up for me to use. I used the last one this weekend, episode number 10. So you know, I thought, why not just use one of my good gameplays? This is actually probably one of my best gameplays, and as you can see, I'm using the S12. Which I don't know, I might get a bit of hate for this, but I actually do insane considering the weapon. I was just trying things out. I don't know why I decided to use the S12, but I was like, you know what, let's try it. And it actually works out pretty well for me, as you'll see in the end. I get like probably one of my highest scoring games I've ever gotten in Call of Duty. So yeah, either way, I hope you enjoy the gameplay in the background. But what I wanted to talk about today is just like, I want to talk about like school a little bit, you know, talk about, I don't know, tests, exams, that sort of thing, because recently well, this weekend actually, I had to do a exam, a Welsh speaking exam, much like you'd say learn French or German, and pretty much I had to like recite a massive bit of text, which I was doing with my group, so it was 2 other people as well, so they had to recite theirs, and it was like really hard to actually revise for it, because if you guys have ever had to do a test with like a different language, I think it's different to say doing a maths test or a science test, which is based on like knowledge. Because, well, with this test we had to, as I said, you know, learn the entire script, and then we had to then say it in front of the teacher, who also had like a record of things. Well, I don't know what the point of that is, but I think like for moderation. So we had to do that, and it's more like you have to memorize each individual word and where it is in the text, as opposed to knowing like how to work out like a certain equation or something, you know, like you would in maths. It's a lot harder than you'd think, to be honest, because I know like typically I leave this like sort of work to the last minute, like if it was say like, I don't know, maths or English or science probably. But this is like a lot different if you're learning a language, and you'll know what I mean if you've done it before. So I just want to give you guys today a couple of, you know, maybe tips or advice for trying to learn a language, especially just for like school or something, because, well, that's the only experience I've ever really had. So that maybe I could help you guys, I don't know, do good in a test or a lesson. I don't really know, but because I've been having to do it over the past couple of days, I think, you know, maybe someone else might. So, my first tip is the way which you revise, the sort of technique for revising. And I can think of like 4 off the top of my head. Them being you like read it aloud, so you can hear yourself saying it, and you try and like say the words and memorize them that way. Okay. Technique number 2, whatever you want to call it, is someone reads it to you, say like your parents or one of your friends, I don't really know. That way you'll hear how the word's supposed to sound. Hopefully they can speak the language decently, or if they can't, you know, at least it's like giving you you can actually hear what's being said, as opposed to you just doing it over and over again. It's a little bit different, and I know some people who will prefer to do it that way. And then the third different technique would be to write it out. This one I do quite a lot, especially if you're doing this like the start of your revision for this piece of text. Just write it all out, because that way you've written everything, so you've had to look at each of the words. That way, I don't know, maybe you'll like remember a little bit of it. I see that I just got a quad RC XD card. That was kind of embarrassing. Back on topic. Yes, that was the third method, just like writing it out. That's like best, I'd say, if you're doing it like first time you're trying to do it. I don't know, it just seems to help like sink into your brain then, because when you go to revise different parts of the text later, then, you know, you'll be able to sort of like have a rough, you know, memory of how it went. Then the last method, which I find the best, but I actually forgot what it was. Come on, Chris, use your brain. So what did I do? I did just speaking to someone about it. Oh yeah, I got this one. You're reading it, okay? Probably like the easiest one is you reading, and you can do this in a mixed combination of reading and having someone else with you. So this way you can read it for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, let's say, and then you give it to the other person in the room, maybe your friend or one of your parents, I don't really know, it doesn't really matter to be honest. And then you can try and recite it, and try not to like spend too much time going okay, just try and remember it, and ask the person who you're with, like, okay, if you make any mistakes, ask them if they can point them out to you, so that you can notice where you've gone wrong. And then, you know, keep going through that, like, do little sections at a time, so that you can, you know, memorize each individual part. And once you've, like, perfected that little part, say you've got, like, 3 paragraphs or something, okay, and they're, like, 8 lines each, okay, for example. Work on the first paragraph, you know, just try and get that, you know, done, which, you know, typically, I find, like, the end part's hardest, because you've already got a lot of information, but, so learn the first part, and then have them test you, and then keep doing that. And then when you've got the first part done, go straight on to the second part, and try and perfect that one, and the third, and just keep, like, going back and forth, like, asking them, oh, hey, can you test me on the second paragraph, because I think I've learned that, but, you know, it's pretty, that's, like, the best way, I'd say, for learning it. And I've asked a couple of my friends, and they said they did different methods like that. I know one of my friends who was there with his mum for like 3 hours straight, doing the you know, reading it to you know, trying to recite it method. Which, I don't know, I think that one's the best for me. That one worked the best. Personally, that's the way I learn. I revise typically. This can also be used for like maths as well, and English probably, possibly even science, but I haven't really tried for that, to be honest, too much. As I said before, I typically leave them to the last minute. I'm not gonna lie, not the most organised when it comes to revising for tests. But also when I asked my friends, like, they were like, okay, yeah, you just like go and just read it over again, like say it out loud, and then you know you'll remember it. And we were doing it, we were talking over Skype and stuff, because we were really Google free, doing that, and I just couldn't get the work we were doing to actually stick in my brain, you know, like, because sure you can like remember it for like 5 seconds or something, but then when you gotta do it for, I don't know, you're gonna be doing it like the next day, you want to have it so it sticks into your brain. And what I like to do, well, we'll call it for the glue, let's say, because, you know, it makes it stick in your brain. What I do is I just typically, this is also very helpful if you're like reading it as well, you like, I look over the word, okay? If there's one word in a sentence, or a couple of words in a sentence, which I just never remember, or always seem to like slip up on, okay? Just look at them for a bit, okay? Just look at them, try and focus on that word, and try and like memorize where it is within the text. I mean, like on the line as well, okay? Sort of like photographic memory, I suppose you could say, but not as good, I suppose. I don't know. It's sort of like photographic memory. That's what I'm gonna call it, okay? And you just like look at the word, you remember where it is in the text, and you remember what comes before it and what comes after it. And that way then you can, like, if you get stuck, you can just think back into your mind, okay, so I said this word, now what comes after it? Oh, it must be this word. And it's just trying to make it so that you know in the text where you are. Okay, that's also another thing, knowing in the text, like, where you are and how far through it you are. Like, how far across each line you are. So that's like a tip for what we'll call gluing the information into your brain. I got another one which was like, you think of a word which it relates to the thing you're saying. So say if you're speaking in a different language, you can maybe when you say, I know in Welsh there's like a word Wisgo, I think. Like I don't know what it means, so don't ask me, okay? And like the way I remembered that word is I thought disco, and then I just like, in my mind I thought it was people dancing at a disco or whatever, and then I just dropped the D, yeah, drop the disco, drop the D on disco, and switched it to a G. That way, you know, sort of like picture memory. I know you like relate something to it. Well, one friend was doing something about Tom Jones, the musician, and he drew a picture, because you're allowed to have prompt words in R1 and prompt pictures. He drew a picture of Tom Jones to remind him, you know, of who he's got to speak about and stuff. So there's all kind of method, and like one friend he did like pictures of things which sound like the actual word you got to say, which I don't know, it's pretty good, and some people even like were allowed to write in English, I think, even though it was for a Welsh test, so it's like it's kind of hard because then you gotta like translate it in a way. I don't know, but that's just a couple of methods, guys, I got for revising for tests. And also make sure you guys that you don't just leave it to the last minute, because me, I left it for the weekend because today's Monday, and I literally just had it like a couple of hours ago in school, and I left it to the Sunday and like the end of Saturday, and yeah, not the best idea, because I actually fell asleep on the Saturday for like 3 hours when trying to revise it. Not advised, guys. Okay, so make sure you like revise in advance, just like little chunks. Okay, do a little chunk each day, and hopefully you should, you know, actually remember what you gotta say and when you have to say it. So it's just a couple of little tips I got for you guys for revising. So yeah, leave it in advance. Go through the 4 different like techniques, if you wish, of how to revise, and then just, you know, what to make it actually stick into your brain. Okay, just like refer to different things like other words or where it is in the text. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you a little bit, or maybe you will use these techniques later on. Yeah, if it did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more videos and content. Probably more Dead Island soon, and some more Call of Duty. So yeah, either way, I've been your boy vKilljoyy, and I'm out. Peace.